DBA framework and automation, flow work and automation. So over to you, Malar. So please introduce yourself and give us insight about what you're going to speak.
Yeah, thanks, Shagin. Hi, everyone. It's a great day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks QA Talks community for this wonderful opportunity to present my demo in this Codeless Conference 2022. Really, I'm so happy. Today, I'm going to present about the codeless automation, that is API and DB workflow automation from Idaithalam Framework, and it is from 𝒍𝒆𝒔𝒔 software. Before going into this topic, let me give you some introduction about me. Basically, my name is Malarkodi. So I'm working as a senior automation technology specialist with Blue Cross Blue Shield, Chicago, Illinois, USA. And here my role is like I'm providing various technical solution for various testing team. And also I'm working for updating our current automation framework. We have existing automation framework. So I'm working for updating that framework with the latest like trending capabilities. And also I'm doing some developing end-to-end test scripts, which is like API and DB, API and UI, or API DB UI. So that's why today I'm going to present about API and DB workflow API automation. This is the open source tool, that is Idaithalam Framework. So if you are using this tool, we feel it is very easy. Definitely, this presentation will be worth for you. Yeah. So can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. So this is my topic, low-code, no-code API and DB workflow automation. And in this, so I'm going to cover and I am going to demonstrate how easily you can test our REST API integrated with database without writing any test scripts. And agenda, like today we are going to see, the first is like what is Idaithalam, then what is database integrity testing and how to do the API and DB workflow automation using this Idaithalam framework. Then we will see some benefits and the return of investments. And I'm going to show how to set up this framework in your local machine, like in your Eclipse or IntelliJ. Then finally, I'm going to give you the demo. Okay. Okay, so in this slide, we can see like what is Idaithalam. So Idaithalam is, it's the open source framework. It is developed with Java and Cucumber. And it is based on the BDD, behavior-driven development, but you're not going to write any features here. The framework is going to generate the feature files. So only thing is you need to set up the Excel sheet. You are going to use some Excel files. In that Excel file, you are going to create couple of rows. With that rows, you are going to create your test cases. So that's why the test cases can be created quickly in minutes. It generates beautiful reports. So reports means you're not going to do anything. So reports will be automatically generated. Once you run this tool, the reports automatically generated based on your test cases. And also it provides complete testing support. It has lot of features in it. Like one of the feature is REST API workflow testing and DB, like API workflow and DB, that is I'm going to present today, and GraphQL, then Kafka event messages. So as a tester, you need to create only Excel sheet. With this Excel sheet, you can create your test cases and you can test it in a minute. Okay. So next, so in this slide, I will give you some how the Idaithalam framework works. So if you see here, in the left side, we have so Idaithalam and tester SME product owner. So if you see Idaithalam, this row, so in this row, everything will be taken care of the Idaithalam framework. The tester SME, that row only the role or the responsibility from the tester, and any SME or product owner, any business analyst, anyone can use this framework very easily. Okay. So start like you are doing as a tester, your work is you will be adding the test cases in Excel. That's it. Then the Excel file will be converted as JSON. And again, that JSON is inputted to this framework as again, you will be getting a feature file. From that, it is generating some Cucumber reports. So as a tester, you are doing add test cases in Excel and view the Cucumber reports. And so this Idaithalam framework uses Java, REST Assured, and Cucumber. So these are all the technologies used in it. But you're not doing anything. Okay. Then testing support, API, it supports API, database, and Kafka event testing. Okay. So what is database integrity testing? So you all know database means like you are doing couple of DDL and DML operations. Like generally database operation means you are doing insert, delete, select, update or patch operations. So apart from that, you need to validate. So basically the database integrity means you need to validate the data is not modified, corrupted unexpectedly while accessing the data. So that is why you are doing the database testing, right? The database is not, the data is not changed. Basically you are validating the data. So with this Idaithalam, how we are going to achieve this API and DB workflow automation. Like you can have couple of, so in that Excel, you can have couple of rows, that rows which has your endpoint, your request, response. In between, if you want to validate that response, whatever response you are getting for your request for that endpoint, that response can be validated with the database. So you can add one row in between. In that row, you can have your database, like if you want to do some select query, I want to validate this data with the response. You can do that. So in that way, the Idaithalam framework works. So next we will see like what are all the key benefits and return of investments. So key benefits means once you set up this Idaithalam framework, you are able to integrate this with CI/CD or Azure DevOps, Jenkins or Azure DevOps or any of the CI/CD tool. It is very easy. Even I'm going to show that to you. Then, so bring down the API testing time from days to minutes. Yeah, definitely. So generally, the requirement today, like test automation world is definitely everyone is working in the sprint team. The expectation is 100% in sprint automation for API. But people are trying to work for REST Assured. Like we are using multiple different technologies. Like we're mostly, if you want to do JSON testing means you'll be creating some scripts with the REST Assured and all. So like that, if you want to do that means you need to create lot of code. So with this framework, you are doing only Excel sheet data setup. So that's why you can achieve 100% in sprint automation. So quick testing is possible, and also you can run the same framework, same code for multiple environments. So you want to test it, you have like, you just think you have multiple QA environments. I want to run for all of the environment. Yeah, you can do that. Parallel execution is possible here. Then minimal maintenance and troubleshooting efforts, significant time saving on learning curve for new team members. Yeah. So if there is a new team member in your team, definitely uh, at least they need to have 2 weeks of time to come up with the speed. But with this, they can spend at least 3 hours. I could say 1 or 2 hours. Within that, they will understand, okay, this is the flow. Okay, I need to set up this. My endpoints has to be set up in this Excel file with request and response. So what I'm going to compare, this thing only I'm going to set it up. Okay. So then return of investment means like definitely once you started using this framework, you will feel the return of investments. So the resources requirement will be reduced. And also the knowledge gap, like any new team member, definitely they can easily understand this. And regression testing is possible. So if you want to do like if you want to change the data, then only you are changing the request. Otherwise, whenever you need, you can run the regression testing. So next I will present you like how to set up easily in your IntelliJ or Eclipse. So with this, just you can create a project in your like any Maven or Gradle project in your IntelliJ or my Eclipse. With that in the pom.xml, you need to add these dependencies like Idaithalam Testxml, and also like here we are doing the database testing. So database means you need to have that dependency. That's why I have like for this demo, I am using MySQL. That's why I have MySQL or DBMS dependency. Then you should have like you need to have these plugins. One Maven Surefire plugin and Cucumber report. Only these things you need to add in your project. So this is the very important part of this framework. You are creating an Excel sheet. That Excel sheet having this column. The column headings, you can keep this as constant. So if you see here in that Excel file, I have 7 rows here. This is for database integrity testing. Just I am doing some crude operation with the database. So if you see here the second row. So in the second row, I am using this for inserting a particular record. So I am using here like very simple example to understand everyone. So I have one table. In that table, that's the user table. In that I will be inserting one row with some value. So the first A column is the test case name. The second is what is the type, like because this framework is working for all the type like API, DB, any type. That's why we have this B type. In the type column, we are representing this. This is going to do the DB operation. In between, if you want to do any REST like API call, then that row becomes API. You got it, right? Then, so resource, the third column says resource. So this will be used in the properties. I will show this where I am using this. So I am naming it as user because I am using the user table. Then we are having test case description and step info. Generally, even though you are writing lot of test cases, the report, when you have the automation report, that report speaks well about your testing. You definitely have the beautiful report. In that report, it has to say, so what you are testing, what are the steps you are doing. So for that, generally, we are creating a lot of log statement for that. So instead, in this Excel, we are representing the test case name, description, and step info. Then the F column, that is a very important column. Here only we are giving our, if it is the database, we are specifying our queries. See, in the second row, I have given the insert query. So it will complete the insert operation. That is my second row, the DB insert user. In the third row, what I'm doing is I'm verifying particular ID is present. After my insertion, that ID is present, I am verifying actually. So here, like I have the select query and the G column is the CS visa. Generally in the testing world, whenever you want to do some verification, definitely we need to compare this with our expected response. Whatever response you are getting, the response has to be compared with your expected response. So that's why I am having this G column. So G column is the CSV that is comma separated JSON. Like for the third row, I'm going to verify, I'm going to select one record. That record ID is 1. So I'm going to select this record. So what are all the values, what are all the fields I'm going to select? Select ID, username, city. So same value, I have to compare this with my expected response. That's why I am having in the G column, the third row, ID, comma, username, comma, city. So these three represents the field. Whatever the fields we are selecting, that names. Under this, we have how many values we are going to validate. Here, I am only selecting only one row. So only one row, that's why I have this I tilde1, comma, Roshni, Chicago. So ID is 1, but with this Idaithalam framework, this is represented like this is the integer. So we are representing the number with the integer as I tilde1. Like for example, if you want to represent long, then L tilde that value, just like that. So Boolean means B tilde like false or true, like that you need to represent. Then next is the username. So username, then city, just comma separated value. If I want to do 2 rows, then I can have the another value. So below I tilde1 Roshni Chicago, I have another row. In that, I will be having my second row value. This is the CSV son. This is very important. It plays the important role in this Idaithalam framework. Then like that. So if you see the the H column, store response variables. So there I want to store in the third row, I want to store the city with some variable. That is why I keep on saying like API workflow or DB workflow. So in your second test case, you want to pass some value to the third test case as the input. So if you want to store some variables in this Excel, that we can do. Like if you see here, the city, Chicago, I have stored in the H column, third row. So variable ID city. So I'm storing variable ID and city as well. Then in the fourth column, in the fifth row, like I'm passing the variable only. I'm not passing the value here. I'm passing only whatever variable I have created in the third row. I'm just passing that variable here as the value. So the framework will take care of assigning the value and all, everything. So again, I'm comparing it with this CSV. So like that, I have another couple of, if you see fifth, I am deleting one particular row. Then I want to verify the count as well. Sorry, the sixth row I am deleting. Before doing the deletion, what I'm doing is I am verifying it has how many count. So I maintained here the count is 3. After deleting, it has to be 2. So everything I am validating with this, and also I am providing all of the information in this Excel file only. I'm not writing any code for this. That is the important point to note down this. Note down here. So after that, you need to create one YAML file. We can say YAML file, or some people can create the properties file. Anything it can be. So in that, we need to specify like parallel execution. If you want to run multiple environments parallelly, that you can represent. Then, so this API executor, this will take care of the multiple environments. So in this dynamic report title, so you are specifying the report title. So what is the report title? What report title has to be displayed? Then output JSON directory. So here the Cucumber generated report. So I told already, it automatically generates a report. So that report will be stored in this path. So under target, you all know target will be created for the Maven project. So under target, I'm creating one Idaithalam/report. Under this, the report will be stored. Then we can run different environment. If you want to run it different environment, we can have multiple copy of this. That's it. You can specify different environment, and if you want to use different Excel file, that also you can use. Then the output directory. So output directory, here this framework, the added advantage is it generates some feature file. That feature file can be used for in the CI/CD or anywhere in the future. So whatever feature file is generated based on your Excel sheet data, that also stored in this path, output directory. Suppose if you want to see, I have created some test cases with this Excel sheet, but I want to see how the feature file created for my test cases, because we wondered, like I set it up only Excel sheet, how it creates. If you go and look into this folder, you can see the feature file. Maybe I'm going to show that to you. Then input Excel. So here, so you will be creating one, that Excel file has to be stored under the SRC test resources folder. Under that, you are storing this Excel file. Then you need to specify the database information definitely. So here I used the MySQL. So I put my username and driver and what is the database and all the details. So next, we should have one Java file. So far we created some pom.xml, one property file, one Excel file. Then we need to create one Java file. That's it. In that Java file, we should have this method. No need to create the script. You can copy this from the demo sample application also. If you go to the virtual on GitHub link, you can get the sample code. You just copy this code and paste it there. And in that, you need to give your property file, because property file, that is the YAML file. YAML file hold all of the detail, Excel and DB details, everything. So you are specifying that, just you are invoking that property file here. Then, in addition, you should have one Testxml file to call the class. So what are all the classes you are using? So you are simply specifying. So in our previous slide, we created one Java file. That class name you need to represent here with your package structure. So it is under this particular package. You need to specify that in this XML file. And so this is the structure. You just leave the generated test script now. You just go to from SRC to pom.xml. So this is like the same, it will be created. So you are having SRC test. Under test, you have Java. So under Java, your Java file will be there. The Java, so data integrity testing test plan executor, the Java file. Then under the test, you have another folder, resources. Under resources, you have the Excel file, your property file, that YAML file. Then the direct folder, you are having that testng XML file. Then pom.xml. That's it. It will run your test cases in a minute. So after that, the step 7 is like you need to execute it. How you are going to execute? Simply you can do Maven clean install. That's it. So it will create a jar and execute all of the test cases. If you do this, you can do this by your Eclipse or IntelliJ, or in the command prompt as well, in the terminal as well. So once if you do the maven clean install, automatically it generates the reports and the feature file. The feature files will be in this generated test scripts folder. So we already specified this. If you see, like in our property file, I showed you two different folder we are creating. One is output directory, other one is output JSON directory. So output directory hold this generated test script. Inside this, it has the structure. It has the feature file. It has the JSON file. Then reports. So if you want to view the reports, say, I want to view the reports. Where is the reports? Yeah, the reports are in this target. Under this target, I specified this folder. So under this, we are getting this folder view. In that folder view, so if you see like target, under this target, we have Idaithalam. Under Idaithalam, we have report. Under that, you need to click the Cucumber HTML reports. Inside that folder, we have overview features.html. This is the important file. If you click this file, you will see the wonderful report. So how the reports will be. Let me show how the reports will be. So the reports are like once if you click the overview features.html file, it will open this feature file. I mean this reports. So you can click here this data integrity testing. If you click this, actually I told you right in the property file we can create the report title. So that report title will be shown here. This is our report title. And so you are doing the data integrity testing. Once you click this, it will open, right? In the Excel file, I have created 7 test cases. So all of the 7 test cases shown here as the scenario. Like if you click each scenario, it will show what are the testing we performed. Everything will be shown here. Let me have one detailed report for one test case. Okay. So this is one of the test case I have created. The report will be, if you click that scenario, you can see the report in that way. Let me compare it with the Excel file. I think now you can understand very clearly. So this scenario, like this test case is I think this is the 4th row test case. If you see here, the 4th row, DB verify by city. This test case, I'm going to show the report. See, so here test case description, verify user information by city. That information shown. So I have some numbers. So the number 1 represents verify user information by city. That is test case name description. For the 4th row. So for the 4th row. Sorry. For the 4th row. Then step info. So step info will be held in the second point, like verify user information by city. So you can have the beautiful reports. So then request content in the 4th row. So I wanted to select some 3 different field, ID, username, city from user where city equal to, I'm using some variable. So whatever I'm using in this F column, that will be displayed in the 3rd number. If you just can compare, the 3rd number is the query, what query you are going to pass. Then next, so in the 4th number, it just put the value. So this where city, the variable city is, this value is retrieved from the previous test case. Right, we stored it. So we have store, so response store in that column, H column. So that value is stored here. So based on that, it retrieved that value. So it just apply that value, replace the variable with the value. That's why we have the exact query. That's the 4th. Then 5th one is like whatever the CSV JSON. So what you are expecting, that is the expected response. What is the response you are going to compare? So that expected is shown in the fifth. Then after the 6 and 7 is like, it just convert the actual response and expected response in a JSON format. The framework converts it. We are not doing anything. The framework converts it. Then if you see the 8, the fourth row in the Excel file, the fourth row in the H column, I have variable username equal to 0.username. It means I am storing the username. In this test case, I have created one variable. In that variable, I'm storing this username, whatever username I retrieved here. So why I put 0? You know, right? JSON is with the, it's the array. We generally, we will be using lot of array of JSON, complex array of JSON. So in that case, how we are referring that JSON? So it's the first value. That's why I'm referring it as 0 dot. Even if it has any value in before, you can write the JSON path. For example, employee dot department of 0 dot name. In that way, you can refer it. So that is the 8th point. So in that way, it creates the awesome reports. So these are all the different other ways we can compare the responses with this framework. And also, I wanted to tell you very important benefit. Idaithalam supports basic authentication, Okta and JWT authentication. So that also, if you want to represent this, you want to retrieve some JWT authentication key, you can do that. That also with one single row. In a single row, you can specify all of the details. So next is like able to perform special kind of validation like length of first name, API, message aggregation. This is like like sometimes if you want to compare some JSON path, some values. So you have some specific scenario. I want to take the length of that value. I want to compare this length. I want to take the length and compare it. I want to do whether the value is minimum or maximum. You want to do some aggregate function. That is also possible with this framework. Then, so if you see like, so request content also, I could see these are, so if you see Excel heading, that row, Excel heading, request content, response content, it means like request content means directly you can pass over JSON. If it is a very small JSON, in the Excel file itself, you can pass it instead of keeping it in a file. That is why we have this request content, then response content. So for example, one endpoint retrieves only one value. It is like 65 or some true or false or something like that. Then you can compare that one value also. Just you can use response content. In that you can put, so I'm getting only, for example, so I'm getting this user ID 65. I want to validate that. You can do that. Then store response variable. So this I already shown in our Excel file, store response variables. In that way, we can store the response values and we can pass this to next test case. Then evaluate functions. So this also, so you want to evaluate something like, I want to evaluate. That's why I told we can do the length of, or we can do some evaluation. That we can do in this way, evaluate functions. So then response by fields and CSVs on this, we already see that. Then addify variable. For example, I want to compare only one value. I don't want to compare all of the response. I want to compare only one JSON path. That you can do by using this addify variables. Then evaluate function. And also like addify variable, I could say sometimes you want to have some time like timestamps in your request. Sometimes in your request, you want to have some timestamp. The timestamp should be the today's date. So if you want to use the today's date as a request, then what you are doing, you are opening that Excel file or you are opening your request, you are updating the date with the current date. So instead of doing that, you can use this addify variable. In that addify variable, directly you can use like start date equal to text today. So this will take the, it will assign the today's date. So if I am running it today, it will run for today. If I want to run after 10 days, again, it will run for that day. You got it, right? If you want to create some date, like recent or current dates, that kind of scenario, you can use this column. So, and we can do the continuous testing with Jenkins. So we can do, we can integrate this with the Jenkins as well. Okay, let me go to the demo. Before that, I will show you how it can be integrated with the Jenkins as well. Okay, let me. So this is the part here. We can integrate this with Jenkins. So if you see here, so it has awesome Jenkins. Like here, like it has the reports. If I am clicking here, like, so the reports are already. So actually, I already created this. I don't want to take much more time to set up this. That's why I wanted to just demo this. It can be integrated with Jenkins. Then, so this is the URL. Like if you go to this GitHub URL, all of the code is available. You just download the code and set it up in your Eclipse or IntelliJ. Then you can see everything. If you go through this video, then definitely you will understand. Then let me share this. Let me run it. So are you able to see my? So I wanted to run this in the IntelliJ. So I have the same structure here. Let me run it. I think you are able to see.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, you can, right? Okay. So I have created database integrity testing project. I have this Java project. In that I have the plan executed. This is the Java code. And I have this Excel file. Let me open that Excel file. Whatever I have, maybe I'm not sure it is going to display. I think you can able to see the Excel file, I think, right? Sure. You're able to see this, right? Okay, good. So this is the Excel file I have created. And let me close this. And this is in this IntelliJ. I have that Excel file in my project. I have the YAML. And so I have that Testxml. Let me run this. So are you able to see my IntelliJ?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. So it's ran actually. So let me show that like generated test scripts. So what are the feature file created here? So this is the feature file. The feature file is created. You can go through that. It has all of the Excel sheet test cases. Then, so in the target, I have the report. So Idaithalam, here I have the report. So Cucumber HTML, I told you, right? Cucumber HTML report. In that overview features. So let me open when. I'm not sure you're seeing it. You're able to see that, right?
Yeah.
See the reports? Okay, thank you. So here there are the ASM reports. I explained most of the reports. So let me go through. So if you see here, if you click the steps, you can see those reports. Everything will be here. Whenever you want to download, you can download. There is a download button also here. So everything, you can see all of the test cases. If you click this, so this report, you are not doing anything. It is automatically generating. Okay. So in the meantime, like I will just show you one Excel file, like how we can do this with API and DB.
Okay.
So if you see here, this is the in the second row, we are generating some key, some authentication key by passing some request content through response variables and in the third row, we are having the URL. So this is for API and DB workflow. And if you see the J column, so I am passing the token in every URL endpoints. So just like that, and here, like one of the row, we are validating it with the, see, like in my 8th row, in end of my API endpoints, like 8th row, like finally, I am testing whatever the response I got with this query, like I'm passing everything. I am testing with the query as well. So this also another example. Yeah. Let me go to the presentation. Yeah, this is my second demo scenario. So these are all the references. You can go to this tutorial URL or working demo projects. You can get a lot of information from here.
Okay. Yes, so that was really wonderful session by you. Thank you, Malar, for having us, like giving us such a detailed explanation of demo. So we have a couple of questions for you today. So Jayesh Kumar is asking, does the framework support SOAP-based API testing?
Yes.
Okay.
It supports OPP. You can test the XML, any kind of responses.
Okay, so there is one more question from Amir, who's asking how could we generate and use a random string or a random number as a test data in the request body?
Yeah, in the request body, we have that evaluate function. In that evaluate function, we already saw like length of, so we can validate. I told you like we can validate length of minimum of. In that, we can use the random. So in Java, we have random method, right? We can use that. Based on that, we can generate the random numbers.
Okay, I hope we answer your question, Amir. And there is next question from Bartos. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, but his question is, the structure of that Excel is closed, or I can add some columns, example comment.
Yeah, I think you can't add any additional columns. The columns are already closed. So you have to use that column based on that. You need to like supply the data based on that column data.
Okay. So in our company, we use Jira, the same question, continuation. In our company, we use Jira, X-Ray. Is it possible to integrate Idaithalam with that, or do you have any experience? He's asking.
Yeah, we can integrate this with your existing framework as well.
Okay.
We need to do some sort of code updates, then we can integrate it with your existing framework.
Okay. So that was
yeah. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to 𝒊𝒗𝒆. I think he is from Virtual Software. He's the owner of this product. You can reach out and you can go through this URL. Definitely, it's worth of your time.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your valuable thoughts and giving us such a lovely presentation. So now let's end this session, and I will before ending it, we have a quiz coming on. So over to you, Manish.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for sharing the quiz question with us. Okay, so let me share my screen. Excuse me. So hope the screen is visible. Okay, so this is the leaderboard from the previous quiz, and we will move on for the next questions. So guys, hope you all are ready. So let's begin with the first question. Here you go. So 100% we got. Let's see what is the correct result. Yes. Moving to the next. Okay. Next question. I guess correct. Okay, still some people say 13%. Let's see what is the correct answer. Okay, so guys, final question for this session. There you go. We got the 100%. So ready for the leaderboard, guys? There is slight change in it. Thank you, and we will be having another quiz. After that, we will announce the final winner for the day. Thanks everyone. Over to you, Daniel. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Manish, for the lovely quiz session. Now, just a gentle reminder to everyone, thank you all for being here, and thank you again, Malarkodi, for your wonderful session. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So just a gentle reminder, if you are here watching on your mobile device, we highly recommend that you switch to your browser or PC version of Zoom events so that you can get the maximum comfort that Zoom events can provide to you, as Zoom events is most utilized on PC. All right, that's number one. And number two, this session has now come to an end. So I will now end the webinar, and then you will all be transported back to the lobby where you will join our next session. All right. And once again, let's give a lovely round of applause to our speaker, Malarkodi. And Malarkodi, thank you again for being our speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Malarkodi. Thank you, audiences. See you guys in the next session.
Mhm.